everybody. I wanted to just go live and show you what I'm personally doing with some leftovers. I make these all the time, sometimes with the leftovers, sometimes with fresh ingredients, but I wanted to show you what I'm doing. Basically, we're making like some egg bites, but so like crustless quiche kind of things, because I'm going to be using meat somewhat, or lunch meat you can use for like a base, but I'm going to show you a few different ways of how we make these at the house to just give you some inspiration, give you some ideas. If you've made these before, tell us maybe what you put in yours, because it's always cool to have different ideas. But so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Erin Moore. I'm the founder of Success with More Nutrition, plus size clothing down to a size 2-4, and really here to just break it down and make it easy. And these are so easy. And then I like to turn them into grab and go snacks. So once these come out, I actually put them into individual little baggies, like 2 at a time usually. And then anywhere I can go, I can grab these and eat these on the go. So it makes it really easy to stay on track with a healthy snack or healthy meal with these. So I'm just gonna show you, like I said, several different ideas, but basically I've already preheated the oven to 350. If you're doing egg whites, you might want to preheat the oven a little bit higher or just cook them longer. I'm going to do a mix in one pan, so I'm just going to be keeping an eye on it to make sure it makes sense for the egg whites and just that eggs, but the egg whites take a little bit longer to cook. So I'm basically just spraying the pan down. You're just taking a regular old muffin pan. Yes, mine's funny and has squares, but don't let that get you all tripped up. Just a regular muffin pan, could be 6, could be 12, doesn't matter, okay? And then the first thing I'm gonna do is, you could have regular lunch meat. I happen to have turkey already sliced, so I'm using the fresh turkey. And so you can, I used to be all like very particular, like it had to be a lunch meat and like I'd layer it and it'd have to be perfect because it was making like the cup or the base for these that really kind of hold them together, and it is convenient. But what I found is, even when you do some scraps, which I'll show you here shortly, the way they cook, it all works out, and the meat on the bottom still creates a really cool base. And you know, you don't have to do the meat, you can just do the eggs, and I'm gonna show you that here too. But so I'm just setting them in the pan. Nothing fancy, nothing particular. But so I'm just gonna set a few of these in the pan. I might not do all of these just to show you guys kind of, okay, so then here's some scraps, right? So it's not gonna be all perfect in the pan. I'm just gonna put those down so that they make a nice little base on the bottom. So I've still got them in there. They're still gonna hold the eggs, right? And then I have some lunch or some leftover, this is actually, I think ground beef, not ground turkey, but regardless, we had a little bit left over from our dinner the other night. And so I love this with like taco seasoned meat. It's amazing. But so this is gonna be good. I've never actually done it with this recipe, but I was like, oh, that'd be good. And we only had a little bit left. So it's not like this is creating like a whole meal for any of us. So why not put them in the egg bites, right? I got enough for a 4th one here, so let's go ahead and put that in there. And then I'm gonna keep a couple spaces here just to show you how you can do it without any kind of meat base, just your typical kind of egg bite, egg bake kind of a thing. So then I had some zucchini here that was gonna go bad, and I'm already like got some other zucchini that I'm like using to the wazoo. So any vegetables, this is the most perfect dish for any leftovers that you have. There's 2 things we basically do with leftover vegetables in our house, is either they're going into an egg bite like this, or they're getting blended up and put into like a spaghetti sauce or some kind of sauce that we're gonna cook. And then we just hide the vegetables in with the sauce. So it's perfect. So we just got these zucchini. I'm gonna actually just fill these things up with this zucchini. I was hoping for the video, you know, because I just was kind of winging it, like, oh, I want to show you guys what I'm making, but I didn't really have a lot of other colorful leftover veggies right now. We'll be getting some fresh ones today. But I like zucchini because they've got a lot of really great health every vegetable has a lot of great health things to it, right? But if you're low FODMAP or gluten-free, everything that I'm cooking is low FODMAP, and this is just one of those vegetables that we can definitely have. But they don't have a ton of taste. So you can really kind of sprinkle them in with a lot of stuff, and it just works. Okay, so I put some vegetables in. Oh, maybe I'll take some of them out here because I want to put some in with these plain eggs that I'm going to do. So basically you kind of put down, you know, what you're putting down. You know, you put everything in before the eggs. You know, some of these maybe I'll sprinkle in a little bit of feta in the ones that are just going to be eggs. I'll sprinkle in a little feta in a couple of the turkeys. Got some fresh mozzarella. Or not fresh, some shredded mozzarella. So I might put those in a few of these, okay? And then, ooh, and I had like the teeniest, tiniest little bit of basil. I love these containers. If you've never checked them out and you want to have like fresh basil, fresh parsley, fresh, you know, you fill in the blank, little things. I love these containers, and it stays nice and fresh in the containers for a really long time. And for some reason I still had just a little bit left, so why not throw them in here? I pretty much always do some salt, so I'm just sprinkling a little bit of, I have Himalayan salts. If you've watched me before, don't get tripped up if you don't have like the extra special salts or oils or whatever. Start where you're at. You can always get better in those departments later, but we've switched basically over to the Himalayan salt. Lower sodium, all kinds of other health coolness factors. Okay, so now I've got egg whites. Pretty much always make these with egg whites, and this is perfect. You can perfectly measure these out if you want. If you want a recipe for these, because if you're like, whoa, she's just adding stuff and I need like a straight recipe, just write yes in the comments below. When I'm done here, I will send you over an actual recipe that I used with the lunch meat and some other veggies and the exact how I make them. If you want a tangible recipe, feel free to write that in the comments and I'll get that over to you. But like, I wanted to come on here and just show you that it really is this simple thing where you're just kind of filling up the muffin pan till it kind of gets to the top. And again, if you're doing egg whites, it takes a little bit longer. If you're doing regular eggs, so I wanted to just show you, you can take a regular egg, of course the brown ones are harder to break, and just put a single egg. You could make a whole pan of these where you just have a single egg, or a single egg with a little cheese, single egg with some vegetables and cheese. But you could literally just do it with just the eggs, and then you have the cooked eggs ready to go for the week. So where you just warm them up, or if you're like me, you just get used to eating them cold, because I have them on the go all the time. Like running out the door to take my kiddos to school, I grab a couple of these and away I go, and I eat my eggs in the car. So I know when I first got started, you know, one of the healthier things for a snack or a meal is to have eggs, but you gotta sit there and you gotta cook them, and then the pan's dirty and you have to make time to like sit and eat them, and then what if they're too hot? So I love these because I just take them everywhere. So now you can kind of check out, I've got all kinds of different ones. So again, these had like feta and just an actual regular egg with some of the vegetables. And then I've got the little beef mix. It was like beef. It's one of my recipes, the beef and the tomato sauce and stuff like that, just mixed in there. Maybe a sprinkle of some mozzarella cheese. And then I've got, you can do either lunch meat. I used the leftover sliced turkey that we had here going on. And then, you know, some of them have basil. They all have salt and pepper. You could season them with whatever you want. If you have a favorite seasoning, put them in there. Like I said, I love to make these with like leftover taco seasoned meat. So anything that you have shredded, or like I said, full slices. Like you know, a lot of the recipes, we've got the crock pot meals. So if you've got some shredded pork or shredded chicken or whatever, you just pop these right in here. This is really good with my Mexican chicken dish too. But so that's it. And then I'm just going to put them in the oven. They're going to stay in there for about 30 minutes. I am going to monitor them, especially since these two are full eggs. They will probably cook faster than these other ones. They're all made with a little bit different. So just want to make sure that they're cooking just right. I personally like them cooked a little bit longer. I feel like it stays together better when it's cooked longer. So when I look and I'm like, oh, they look done, I'll still cook them for a little bit longer. But as you play around with these kinds of recipes, as you do this, you'll start to go like, oh yeah, I think if I would have cooked that a little bit longer, it would have stayed together better. So I'll do that. Or you know what? I'm having most of them while I'm sitting down at a table or my desk or something like that. And I like them a little bit not overcooked, right? So then maybe you keep them like that, you warm them up and they're perfect. You'll get to kind of know what your specialty is. But again, if you make anything like this, where you're cooking up eggs in the muffin pans, all kinds of different ways to do them, what do you add into yours? How do you make them? What are your favorite ways, you know? Just as simple as, you know, one of my coaches just showed lunch meat with just a single egg, you know, and it's perfect. So you can do the single eggs, you can do it, so many varieties, and you can have a lot of fun with it. And if you have kids, I made mine go hide upstairs so I could actually talk with you. But if you have kids, this is super fun for them too, because now this is a way to get them involved with eating and cooking something healthy, because they get to be the mad scientists and they get to put in what they want in theirs, you know? And then it's like, hey, well, you made it, you got to eat it, right? But it's a good way for them to get some healthy protein in and some vegetables. Cut up some vegetables and then they get to pick, and then you got to be like, you got to put at least one vegetable in, and they're sprinkling them in there. Then they have theirs. So I hope this helps. I do take them out, like I said, put them in individual little Ziploc bags, 2 at a time usually. And then I stack them in the refrigerator, just in a Tupperware or something to keep it neat. And I grab them as I go. So hope this helps. Write yes in the comments if you want an actual recipe to follow, because winging it is just a little scary right now. I know I had to have like exact recipes when I first started. So if you need that, no hesitation, just ask for that recipe and I'll shoot it right over. And have a beautiful and healthy day. Bye.